Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here this evening. I put in front of your desk a picture of the peninsula.
Beautiful.
Sometimes we all forget. I hope you drive out there, buy a bottle of wine, we need the business. As you can see, Peninsula Township isn't your normal 6x6 township. We're about 18 miles long, 3.5 miles wide at the widest place, have around 48 miles, 50 miles of shoreline. And what makes us kind of unique to the area, obviously, are the bays on each side give us a microclimate, which allows us to grow cherries and vinifera grapes that would only grow in certain parts of the country. And the microclimate, very simply, the ice, the water gets very cold. I think it's about 32 out there now. And the water stays cold as the land warms up. And the wind blows a cool breeze over the water, keeps the fruit from opening early in the spring, so we miss those first frosts. And it works just the opposite. As the water heats up in the summer, the wind blows the warm air off the water across the land. So our first frost will probably be sometime in November, when in Traverse City you're getting them in October. And that gives us a growing region that we're very proud to have. In 1988, I was elected township supervisor, and Gordon Hayward, most of you know, was our planner. And being an urban township, we had to look at various things, the infrastructure, sewer, water, the roads, and how do we plan for growth. But we decided it'd be appropriate to look at another means of development, and we looked at purchase of development rights and donation of development rights. And finally, in the early 90s, we took that to the people, and the people of Peninsula Township actually taxed themselves to start one of the first purchases of development rights. We were the first local unit of government, a small unit of government, I believe, in the United States to take that concept. Since then, we've worked very well with Grand Traverse Regional Land Conservancy, American Farmland Trust, PA 116, and the federal program. There's about 18,000 acres on the Old Mission Peninsula. 9,200 of them are zoned agricultural, and of that we have conservation easements on over 5,000. So over half of that will stay as an agricultural component in perpetuity. And as a side benefit from that, while we were doing the purchase of development rights, we also identified the scenic views from the major highways and purchased all of the development rights in those areas. So, for instance, one of the most famous ones is at Chateau Grand Traverse. As you look over Power Island, come back in 100 years, it's going to look the same because nothing can be built in those. We call them view sheds. We probably stole that term from somebody else, but that's where we're at. If you look at economics, Peninsula Township is in value is probably the third in Grand Traverse County, Garfield being first, City of Traverse City, and then Peninsula Township. Obviously, the city and Garfield have a lot of commercial, and our value is on the shoreline. I did put some filler pages in there for you guys to look at, but I was more concerned with, I don't want to jinx this, but I think we're finally making a turn here and getting more houses built, more development coming back online, hopefully getting people employed. In 2012, we built 21 homes on the peninsula, and they're not small, of course. And right now, we've got 8 permits coming out of our office. So if that trend continues, we would have 30. And at the Board of Public Works meeting, I know East Bay and Garfield have 2 projects. We have a church and another winery coming in addition to that. So hopefully we can keep our people employed. Great. And things moving ahead. On some other issues, we've been pretty lucky this year. We have 2 projects that we're going to be putting out for the Trust Fund Board. the old Nevinger Campground, if you're familiar with that. It's out by Hazerat Beach. It's about 7 acres with almost 600 feet of shoreline. And we're working with the Land Conservancy, the Grand Traverse Regional Land Conservancy, and the state of Michigan on making that a boat launch. It's currently zoned to put 10 homes in there, but hopefully we'll be able to pull that deal off, and we're getting a lot of support from the local fish people, fishing, charter fishermen and things, and the locals for that project. A second project is a failed development on the backside of Jolly Pumpkin, and it borders our Bars Harbor Park, and that's a 62-acre parcel that hopefully we will be able to acquire. And the boat launch is about a $2 million project. This one is about a $800,000 project. The trust fund would pay 75%, and we've already got commitments from local people to help bridge that other 25% in the township. So hopefully that will be a nice addition to our park. You know, we're talking increasing the walking trail, and the dog park keeps coming up. Little League apparently is taking off again. You know, everything went from soccer to now it's coming up with lacrosse, Little League, so we're working forward with that. Our park board, which by the way is an elected park board, not an appointed one, which is kind of different to deal with at times. They're working with Mr. Oosterhouse on redoing play structures in our park, so you'll be seeing more of that coming. We're trying to raise a couple $100,000 to change those all over. And probably the last but not least, we got a grant from Homeland Security to buy a boat that we will be doing rescue work in the bays. We are, as all shore owning townships or city, we're responsible from a mile out from our shores, and I think that's something as a county we may have to look at, because the response time, we all think the Coast Guard will be there, but it's 45 minutes to get a boat out of Charlevoix, and possibly 45 minutes to an hour to get a helicopter. And if a boat is in distress out there, basically all of us that around the shore are sending out like Boston whalers and things like that, that we're putting our people at risk. I almost hate to say this is a $400,000 boat, 27 feet. It's got rigged for all kinds of foul weather, and if we pick people up that were fishing out in this kind of weather and they went in the water, we would have a warm place to put them, and we'd be able to transport 12 people at one time in this boat. The 17-foot Boston whaler style we have now will hold 5 people, which we send 3 people out. So you can see that in the summer, if your pontoon boat was leaking and going down, we would be throwing people life jackets and saying we'd be back. So this is, I think, a major step in helping rescue on the bay. Do you have any questions?
Interesting.
Dick, Thomas?
Yeah, on your boat launch, and you're talking about the charter people being interested in having, are you gonna have fuel there?
I don't believe so. It'll be a regular DNR boat launch.
Oh,
In fact,
okay.
it wouldn't be. It's not a township owned. They will keep it dredged like they do their other launches, and the township is actually going to work with them on keeping the place mowed and toilet facilities cleaned. Dan?
At the price of gas, you know, you could make money.
Go ahead, Dan.
Where are you going to put that new big boat? Will it be in a slip somewhere? Or?
No, actually, the plan for the fire department is to have it hooked in the building, so it'll be able to go to East Bay or West Bay.
Either bay?
Yep.
Okay. I do want to say I have gone to many of your meetings, and his board is one of the greatest boards I've seen. They're so smart and so well informed. A really good board.
Don't tell them that, they want more money.
Anybody else have any more questions?
Rob, have you done something to get some water to that boat launch so you can actually run the boat after you get it in the water?
It's going to be hard. We're actually picking, the boat will be delivered in the first of the year, basically. But yeah, all of our boat launches, I don't know what we're going to do. It's bad out there.
Any other questions? Rob, thank you very much for doing this. We
Thank you.
appreciate you
Pleasure to
coming
be
here
here.
and appreciate your service for our communities.
Thanks, Rob.
Thank you, Rob.
Next on the agenda is the consent calendar. Connie?
The purpose of the consent calendar is to expedite business by grouping non-controversial items together to be dealt with by one commission motion without discussion. Any member of the commission, staff, or the public may ask that any item on the consent calendar be removed therefrom and placed elsewhere on the agenda for full discussion. Such requests will automatically be respected. If any item is not removed from the consent calendar, the action noted, receive and file or approval, is approved by a single commission action adopting the consent calendar. Receive and file, number 1, Board of Public Works minutes of December 3rd, 2012. Number 2, Traverse Area District Library minutes of December 13th. Number 3, Board of Public Works minutes of January 10th, 2013. Number 4, Veterans Affairs minutes of January 17th. Number 5, Northwest Michigan Action Agency minutes of January 17th. Number 6, Traverse Area District Library minutes of January 17th. Number 7, Northern Lakes Community Mental Health minutes of January 17th. Number 8, Department of Human Services minutes of January 25th. Number 9, Airport Commission Organizational minutes of January 29th. Number 10, Airport Commission regular minutes of January 29th. Number 11, Board of Public Works minutes of February 14th. Number 12, Planning Commission minutes of February 19th. Number 13, Northern Lakes Community Mental Health minutes of February 21st. Number 14, Human Services Board minutes of February 22nd. Number 15, thank you note from Goodwill. Number 16, correspondence regarding stormwater ordinance dated March 8th. Number 17, resolution for the preservation of Second Amendment from Delta County. Number 18, Northern Michigan Substance Abuse Services Annual Report. Approvals. Public Health and Safety Committee recommends approval of the following resolutions. Number 19, Grand Traverse Sheriff's Office Jail Security Electronics. Number 20, Grand Traverse Sheriff's Office Community Policing Officers. Number 21, Grand Traverse Sheriff's Office Community Policing Officers for Paradise and Mayfield Townships. Number 22, Public Health Week. Number 23, Fiscal Year 2012-2013 CPBC Amendments Number 2 and 3. Number 24, Public Service Commission Directive. Resource Management and Administration Committee recommends approval of the following resolutions. Number 25, Resource Recovery 2013 Hauler License. Number 26, District Court Staffing Plan Amendment. Number 27, Human Resources Consulting Services Agreement, Paula Sagala. Number 28, Appointments, Northern Lakes Community Mental Health and Farmland Preservation Boards. Ways and Means Committee recommends approval of the following resolutions. Number 29, Support for DNR Grant Application, Strombolus Lake Property. Number 30, 2013 Remonumentation Grant Acceptance. Number 31, Approval of 2013 Remonumentation Service Contracts. Number 32, Approval of Grand Traverse County 2013 Housing Strategy. Number 33, Budget Adjustments. Number 34, Approval of 4th of July Fireworks Agreement. Number 35, Resolution supporting Bay Area Transportation Authority Flex Route Service in Leelanau County.
You've heard the consent agenda. Is anybody that would like to, from the audience, that would like any of these removed? Any commissioners would like anyone removed? Chris?
Number 21, please.
Anybody else?
You said 21?
I did.
I think the just minutes should reflect that we've got a resolution for item number 24 on our desk, so.
Yeah. Number 24 is on your desk. It said it would be distributed today. Anybody else like anything removed?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve the consent calendar with the exception of item number 21.
I have a support.
Support.
By Wheelock. You have to have a roll call for this, Bonnie?
Yes. Commissioner Rennie?
Yes.
Max Bauer?
Yes.
Lathrop?
Yes.
Inman?
Yes.
Wheelock?
Yes, ma'am.
Thomas?
Yep.
Lemko?
Yes. Thank you. Next is number 21 that's been removed from the consent calendar. Chris?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I am in support of this, but I do have a question for our administrator. Dave, in the past, when we have had additional officers funded by the townships, that's what we have done, is put additional officers on staff. I just want to clarify that we're not just moving officers that we already have to serve these townships, but this is indeed an additional officer.
It is an additional officer the way this is written.
Thank you. In that case, I would move to approve.
Support. Support by Wheelock. Any other discussion? Do I need roll call on this? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Next is the department action items, Park and Recreation, Resolution Support Maple Bay Improvement Trust Fund Grant Application. Jason, you up here for that?
Jason Jones, your county's Parks and Recreation Director. I just wanted to report back to this commission. At last week's Parks and Recreation Commission meeting, the Parks and Recreation Commission approved a resolution supporting the application for the DNR Trust Fund for the Maple Bay improvements, as well as a suggestion, or a request, I guess, of the Board of Commissioners to approve $80,000 for the match. And based on the comments and the suggestions that I very much appreciated last week, I talked briefly to Dean, and it looks as though that $80,000 expense would be realistic to break down over the fiscal years 2014 and 2015. And I think that's, in speaking to our partners on this project, they'd be amenable to that as well. So
Okay.
at this point, I'd ask for your approval of the resolution resolution supporting our application, as well as the match not to exceed $80,000.
Chris?
I would move for approval.
Second?
Second by Inman. Any other discussion? Anybody in the community, in the public, have any discussion on this? I really appreciate the maps that you gave. It really explained us as to what's really there, so we appreciate that. Do I have to have a roll call on this?
Involves money, I don't,
Yeah.
I
probably.
think so.
Do a roll call.
Yep.
Commissioner Max Bauer?
Yes.
Lathrop?
Yes.
Inman?
Yes.
Wheelock?
Yes, ma'am.
Thomas?
Yep.
Rennie?
Yes.
Lemko?
Yes. Thank you, Jason.
Thanks, Jason.
Thank you.
Good
Thanks
luck
for the
with your,
follow-up on that.
parts. Next is finance claim summary. That's a handout that you have.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve the claims as presented for $6,949,477.73.
Support. Support by Wheelock. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Lathrop?
Yes.
Inman?
Yes.
Wheelock?
Yes, ma'am.
Thomas?
Yep.
Rennie?
Yes.
Max Bauer?
No.
Lemko?
Yes. Next is administration, the housing approval of target strategy.
And Gene Dorenzi is here to
Gene?
speak to that.
Good evening. My name is
Evening.
Jean. My name is Jean Dorenzi with the Grand Rivers County Planning and Development Department. This agenda item is specifically relating to the 2-year, $300,000 county allocation grant for homeowner repair that Grand Rivers County has been a recipient of. This is the second year that the housing program has been implemented by our department. Previously, it was administered by the City Housing Commission. And the County Land Bank Authority oversees all of the housing programs that are implemented. For this program, the Michigan State Housing Development Authority, or MISTA, has made a new requirement that Grand Rivers County, or all county allocation programs, must identify targeted areas of where we wanted to have the allocation dollars be spent on. So therefore, previously, we could use all of the allocation dollars throughout the whole entire county. The thinking behind the state of Michigan on doing that is by leveraging the state resources by local resources. It provides a better investment and creates a sense of place in those areas that those allocation dollars would be spent on. In your packet, you have the strategy that was developed by the Michigan State Housing Development Authority with county staff. We started that strategy by reviewing the historical use of the allocation dollars along with reviewing the grand vision and local master plans as well. I'm very pleased that the targeted areas that we have been identified and tentatively been approved by the Michigan State Housing Development Authority, being the city of Traverse City, all of Garfield Township, the village of Fife Lake, the village of Kingsley, and parts of Long Lake, Blair, Green Lake, and East Bay. We've also been able to expand some of the areas to identify additional placemaking areas for all of East Bay Township and southeast corner of Acme Township as well. So we have been able to really stress the importance of where we want the areas to be focused in at, and got the most that I believe we could with the state of Michigan to use the allocation dollars throughout Grand Traverse County. The Land Bank Authority has reviewed this strategy and is recommending approval so we can utilize the grant in these targeted areas. The other area, the policy by the Michigan State Housing Authority is that this allocation, 50% of the award would go towards the targeted areas, and the other 50% can go throughout Grand Traverse County. However, future allocations, 100% of the allocation would have to be utilized in these targeted areas, but we can amend those areas when we need to.
Sonny?
Well, I think I've spoken with you prior. You know, this is pretty exciting to us in that, you know, Grand Traverse County is out front with the land bank. We're out front with the Housing Trust Fund. We've had an opportunity to qualify for these monies. And the most exciting thing from my perspective is the fact that we've been able to identify housing needs outside of the core city of Traverse City. And MSHDA has authorized us to expend these grant monies outside of the city of Traverse City. Historically, they basically were 100% in the city. And the fact that they've acknowledged our housing needs assessments so as that we have housing needs outside of the city. You know, if you live in, you know, I used to joke that if you lived in Mayfield Township, we'd be happy to help you with housing, but you have to move to Traverse City. You know, and that's the way it was. MSHDA did not allow us to use these types of dollars outside of the core. And I'm very excited to the fact that this has changed. And you're going to see a lot more things coming from your housing commission, your housing trust fund, and your land bank in regard to affordable housing in our community. I reported to you last week that we have finalized a partnership with Homestretch and Habitat for Humanity to purchase the property for the depot property and provide $100,000 from our housing trust fund to provide infrastructure for that development. This is a partnership, and we will have 21 affordable homes in this partnership right here in our community.
So are you going to make the motion?
I would make the motion to approve the Grand Traverse County place-based targeting strategy for housing.
Do I have support? Charlie Rennie?
I would second that.
Okay, is there any other discussion? I think this is absolutely phenomenal. I really appreciate the work that you've done, Gene, and the Board for the Land Bank has done in putting this together. And I think the Council of Governments did the inventory.
They did the inventory and the strategy that is on your agenda today.
So we need to recognize that the value of partnering in our community shows exactly what can be done when you do that.
Yes.
So, do I have to have roll call?
No, I don't know.
Okay. No other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried.
Thank you very
Gene,
much.
thank you very much. I did oversee the engagement letter from Reuben Robson that's on your desk. I forgot to refer that as part of your finance. I need a motion to approve that I would be able to sign that if you can.
Mr.
I'll
Chair,
move to allow you to sign the audit.
Seems they've already started.
Yeah.
Do I have a second?
support.
Support. Any discussion on this?
Dean, was
I
this
did get a call
this is a
from
three-year
the
contract?
auditor, and the auditor wanted to know if I had any concerns about audits and everything else. And I told her I was not aware of any at this point, so.
Right.
All those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Just,
Excuse me.
we talked about a multiple-year contract. Is this a multiple-year
Yeah.
contract, or is this,
They were here last year.
is this the third year in our three-year contract?
I'll be brief. We did go out for bid, and we are in a 5-year contract. This is year 2 of that contract. And just to make a few comments, I tried to get this, I talked to Herb, the chairman, this morning, last month, so that we could actually have this in place before the auditors started, but every year things change. I have reviewed this. I know that if you sit down and try to read through this, you're probably going to have a lot of questions understanding, but what this does, it defines what the scope of the audit is. It tells you what they can't do or what they won't do. I mean, an audit is not designed to detect anything and everything that could possibly go wrong, but they're looking at material items that would have an effect on our financial statements. And also, probably more importantly, it defines what your role is in this, and this is why this is addressed to this board, this body. I know you rely on me to make sure that there's nothing in here that's going to cause us any undue or any problem down the road, but we do have significant responsibility here regarding information that we provide to them. The chairman indicated that the auditors had to interview him and discuss if he was aware of anything or that might cause concern that they should look at. I did not brief the chairman. I don't know what was discussed, but I know he did have that meeting with the auditor this week. So I do need your approval to authorize the chairman to sign this so we can complete our 2012 audit, which is in process.
All those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Thank you, Dean. Next is Fife Lake Fireworks.
I'll handle that. I wasn't aware of this, but I would make a motion that the board approve a $1,000 contribution for the Fife Lake 2013 July 4th fireworks celebration.
I'll second.
Support by Lathrop.
Sonny's gonna say.
Dean, is this the same as what we did last year?
Last year
Thought we
was
did 500 last year.
Last year was 500, and the previous year was 0, and the 2 years before that was 1,000 each.
Yeah. I think we cut the festival and we also cut this one, I thought. So that's why I'm asking if we shouldn't be the 500 instead of 1,000, but you made the motion, so.
What did we do with the festival?
We proved that.
How did we, do you recall how we reduced that? They only asked for how much this time?
Was it
In here?
2,000?
Huh? 2,000.
At one point, we were allocating or appropriating $5,000 total for fireworks, but because of the budget situation over the past few years, you had reduced that by 50%. Or, yeah, we were really only appropriating $2,500. But every year, as Larry had indicated, it's been a little bit different. We advance paid 1 year. So we've done just about everything, but we have reduced the amount from 5,000.
Yeah.
Now it's 2,000, okay.
Charlie?
I do believe they pay, the village pays about $8,500 for that fireworks show, if that helps at all.
Chris?
Refresh my memory, Dean. Where is this money coming from?
It's budgeted in a department that's called miscellaneous contingency, so it's a general fund appropriation.
Okay, so this was not budgeted like the other fireworks was budgeted?
We have $2,000 budgeted for 2013.
Okay.
We will need to amend the budget to cover this. I feel confident that we can find the funds to do that, if the board so chooses.
Somehow I missed that as chairman, because I thought we had the Fife Lake one in there too. in the budget, but, okay.
Yeah, I will not support this at the $1,000. I will support the 500.
I would modify it and ask for 500.
Well,
Second it.
Okay,
now we're down to 500.
okay. So do I have to,
You have to do a voice.
Roll call.
Roll call.
I need a roll call on this, please. The amended motion is to go to $500. Thank you.
Commissioner Inman,
Yes.
Wheelock,
Yes, ma'am.
Thomas,
Yep.
Rennie,
Yes.
Max Bauer.
Yes.
Lathrop,
Yes.
Limkul.
Yes. Thank you. Next is unfinished business, a proclamation for National County Government Month.
Move for approval?
Support by Lathrop. Dan, you were talking about a 6-minute video that you were talking about.
It's great. I learned about it when I was at NACO. It's called Why Counties Matter, and I have downloaded it on my computer. I'm working with Linda on a way to get it to all of you and a way to get it to our people. But it's a wonderful video. It just even surprised me how great counties are.
So, good.
Well, thank you for picking up this county leadership package,
It's great.
handbook for county commissioners at the NACO conference. It looks pretty, it looks really good. I can't wait to get through it.
Any other discussion? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion's carried. Next is any new business? Don't see any. Second, public comment. Is there anybody from the public that would like to make comment? You guys are awful quiet over there. But I would like to say that we've got 3 students or 4? 4 students here, 5 students, 6 students
They're all over.
from the high school. And we really welcome you to come to our meetings. I would hope that, other than just being an assignment from school, that you might have some interest. We are televised, and so if you don't have anything else better to watch on Wednesday nights, we would encourage you to do so. But we really appreciate you being here, learning about county government. Thank you for being here.
You'd like to do an inquiry?
Next is the commissioner reports. Sonny? You had the land bank, I guess?
Yeah, I think I did that last week,
Yep.
so and I mentioned it earlier. No.
I don't have, I'm, never mind, I'm under notices. I need to be under notices.
Any other commissioner reports? I do have a report from 211 for the month of February, that there was 17 calls that went into that. So 3 were exploration of discussion, program sites, county community shelters, gas service assistance, domestic violence shelters, general counseling services, general legal aid, heating fuel assistance payment assistance, housing search assistance, incidental medical expense, information request for reagencies, property tax rebate, information, and undesignated temporary financial assistance. So I think that 211 is working, and it's able to help people to be able to access those services. So that's my report on 211. Anybody else have a report for commissioners' reports?
Oh,
Yes.
no, I'm, never mind, I keep going to notices. I
ahead.
just don't want to forget to say what I have to say.
Go ahead, before you forget it.
I want to let everybody know that public health and safety is canceled.
Okay.
And I appreciate Chris Kramer's efforts in getting a hold of the department heads and asking them to move everything forward. As everyone, pretty much everyone is aware, my father-in-law is
Not doing
probably not going to be with us more than another day or 2. And so I will be headed to be with my husband's family, and I really don't know exactly when I'm going to be back. I've let Commissioner Inman know that he will be doing the report at Commission on Aging, and I've contacted the Area Agency on Aging. They have not had a meeting yet this year, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to make this one, so I just wanted to let everyone know.
We'll take as much time as is needed.
Yeah, our prayers are with you.
Thank you.
Next is notices. Remember that April 2013 is Social Host Awareness Month. It's also Public Health Week, the first week of April, the 1st through the 7th, and it's also National County Government Month. So, and also I read where it's National Celery Month. So,
Something we can all eat more of.
Something
Okay.
we forgot about
I have
since
heard it
2000.
Takes more calories to chew celery than...
yeah, eat more celery, right,
Yes.
Mr. Thomas?
Well, just to get back, it's also the week after Dickie's birthday, National Celebration Month.
National Celebration Month.
Yeah.
I'm sure we will do more celebration for Dickie's
We don't
birthday.
We sang for him last year.
Yeah, well,
We don't celebrate.
Commissioner Lathrop wanted to know if we did that, and I said, I don't think we have any great voices here other than his.
Well, we got one.
We have his, yeah. Mr. Benda.
I just wanted to let the board know, since we're not going to be meeting next week, the parcel 80 was put into trust by the Secretary of, the Bureau of Indian Affairs, and we have some questions. Civil Council and I have been going over it, and we have some questions that we would like to be asking the Bureau of Indian Affairs regarding that. There's a couple things that we need cleared up, and we may be sending off some information to them, some questions to them. So I think we will have to do that by April 3rd if we want to be able to ask those questions. So I just wanted you all to know that that's in the process.
David, is there any discussion about the other parcel yet?
Nope, haven't heard a word.
Because parcel 80, as I remember, is like a 12-acre piece, but it is in fact contiguous with the existing property.
Correct.
The question's going to be whether or not the BIA is willing to authorize trust status to non-contiguous property.
Yeah.
Now, that's going to be the real question.
Yeah, it's more,
At least
more
in my
challenging
mind.
process.
At least in my mind, that's the big question, because if they open that door, then we have a whole lot of other issues coming at us.
It shouldn't be legal.
Mr. Rennie?
I also read that packet, and it said that initially that was supposed to be for some kind of easement or road or something like that, but they've added in that they can develop that for retail and things like that. What has changed to make that happen?
Once it goes into trust, it's pretty much can be used
can
as
use
the
it for
tribe
anything
sees
they
fit.
want.
Does
It
it have an
becomes
impact on our tax
tribal-
base or anything like that?
Pardon?
Will that have a long-term impact on our tax base or something like that?
I mean, like, it's not, as you read in the BIA's letter, it's not the tax money on open land that, on farmland or vacant land that is that significant. It's the long-term impact.
Should
Would
they
that-
develop it
right
with retail
now,
and stuff, wouldn't that increase the tax base?
if it was developed, yes, it would increase the tax
So
base.
they're
but
giving them
it's
themselves that
non-taxable
option.
once it becomes
Trust.
trust.
Okay, that's the issue I guess I'm trying to bring up.
So the discussion previously was because the property between the current Turtle Creek Casino and Arnold Road was annexed a number of years ago. And the discussion with the tribal's EDC board at that time was the fact if they were to develop that property and say, for example, they hosted Kmart to come there, and then Kmart closed their facility in Acme Township, we get double hit because we receive no tax revenue for the development that's on the tribal land, and we no longer get the development on the property that was currently being occupied.
And my point is that an issue?
Absolutely.
Should be discussed with
Absolutely,
them.
it's an issue,
Okay.
but we have nothing to say about
There's
it.
nothing we can do is what you're saying?
Absolutely nothing
I
we
guess
can
that
do about it.
answers my question.
It is not our decision. We can
Continue to
object.
ask questions.
We've done that.
Well, we
Thank
have
you.
we have
Thank you for
another one.
keeping us informed.
Okay.
Next is your calendars. Anybody remember that the 10th is strategic planning?
Yep.
So that's the only one that's out of the ordinary. Okay. Anything else become before this group?
Mr. Chairman, you got to do,
We have no closed session.
okay, all right. Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you. We are adjourned.
Say goodbye, Dickie.
All right, Dickie.
45 minutes.
Hold tight, Dickie. Don't move.